Chair, would you like a chair? Let's go, Chair. Thank you very much for that kind offer. Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, nice to see you.
Nice.
Lovely to see you all here. Thank you so much for coming and turning up for the DLT Lounge's event. I want to say thank you to DLT Lounge, thank you to Oscar, thank you to Balbir, thank you to the whole team for putting this together. This is an amazing event. Can you please give them a round of applause, please? Oh, thank you. This is the first time I've ever done a presentation sitting down, so do bear with me. I will do my best to project my voice as loudly as possible so that the people at the back can hear me. Can you hear me at the back? Awesome, awesome. So, today I'm going to do a presentation on the history of blockchain. Now, unfortunately, I have 15 minutes, so I don't know whether or not that's going to give me enough time to do it justice, but I will do a very condensed version of it as much as possible. So, if I can have someone turn to the next slide, please. So, who the hell am I? Christiana Imafidon. So, for those of you who don't know, I passed my GCSE maths at 9 years old. I went to university at 11. I was the youngest person to embark on undergraduate studies at the age of 11 in the UK. I then went on to do mentoring at Sherry Blair's Foundation. So I was a Women in Business mentor. So I was a Sherry Blair Foundation alumni mentor. And it was an eye-opening experience for me in terms of seeing the way technology had an impact on women all across the globe, or had an impact in business. And so I wanted to explore that further. But in terms of my background in blockchain and what brings me here today, I actually started 7 years ago. So what happened was I started going to events to learn more about it. I was actually informed about blockchain by an East End actor who had just got into Bitcoin in 2014. And so I was just having a casual discussion with him, and then he was getting excited about blockchain, and I was like, why are you getting excited? You're just an actor. I thought this is for technical people. But he then explained the possibilities of what could be done with blockchain, and I was enamored. So after that, I went for a hackathon where we had to use blockchain to come up with an identity for 230 million children who had been unaccounted for by authorities in Africa and India. And the idea that the group that I was in came up with was using biometrics and taking a picture of the child's face and taking their fingerprint every year of their life and storing it on the blockchain. And eventually, by the time they turned 18, they would then have their own digital identity in which they owned. So that was my first foray into it. From there, I was then invited to Cambridge Blockchain Conference. I was featured in MIT Technology Review, which is a peer-reviewed publication, highly prestigious. And then I was approached to write a book on blockchain, and that's what brings us here today. So that's a bit of an introduction and a bit of a summary as to why I'm here. I haven't just come off the street. There's actually a proper reason I'm here. Now, I'm a very engaging and entertaining speaker, and I don't like to do things in half measures. I also don't like to. I don't like people sleeping in my presentations either. So I'm going to do as much as I can sitting down to get this crowd pumping, because I know I'm the only thing standing in the way of your drinks at the moment. So what I would like to also say is that I'm available on LinkedIn as well. So this is my beautiful picture. This is me before I had a change and decided to cut off all my hair. Don't worry, it's the same person, it's still me. But yeah, if you want to contact me, I'm available on LinkedIn, and I'm sharing insights on blockchain and what I see in terms of where blockchain can be applied in different areas and different industries as well. Okay, next slide. So I'm going to talk about the history of blockchain, and I'm going to, before we start, I want us to play a game. I know. So is everyone ready? Yeah. Okay, that wasn't loud enough. I'm sure there's more people. Yeah. Is everyone ready to play a game?
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you. Lovely energy. So, what you're going to do is we're going to play a game called Guess the Date, where you will guess a date that I'm going to choose in order to explain the history of blockchain. So, I want to find out from the audience, when do they feel blockchain started? What year?
1975. 46.
Everybody's shut. Okay.
92.
We're getting closer.
94. 95.
Oh, wow. There's quite a range of answers.
2010.
No, damn. Okay, I'll give you a clue. It's in the 90s.
1996.
Closer.
98.
Closer.
98.
No. 91. Thank
Well
you.
done for the answers. Well done.
So we can go to the next slide. Yes. Right. So, in 1991, two research scientists called Stuart Harbour and W. Scott Stornetta, conceptualized the idea of the blockchain in terms of having a document stored on a block that is timestamped. So I know someone said 1975, and I heard what you said. We'll come, if you speak to me afterwards, we can have a conversation about that. But yeah, I'm so glad that I got everybody to take part, because it was nice to hear the diversity of answers. But yeah, so they started, so for them, they were what is widely known as the pioneers of the first concept of blockchain that was ever recorded. Okay, the next date. What date is next, do you think? Sorry?
Pizza blockchain day.
Oh, no. Okay, sorry, we're not coming on to, well, first of all, that's a great suggestion, well, that's a great contribution, but that's not the way in which this presentation is going. So, no, well, thank you. Okay, so we've done 1991. What's the next year that you think could be pivotal in the documentation of the history of blockchain?
99.
Oh, not quite. What's coming on? Okay, a bit earlier.
95.
Earlier. Yes, 92. All right, next one. Next slide. So, 92. Also, I should say there is not a lot of text on my slides. I hate putting text on slides because I don't want you to detract from me, the star. But no. So, in 1992. The idea of Merkle trees was incorporated into blockchain in terms of enabling there to be multiple documents stored in a single block. All right, so in fact, I will skip the next year, because the next year was going to be 1998, which is the year that blockchain pioneer Nick Szabo came up with Bitworld, and work began on that. Okay, right. After 1998, what's the next year that you think is pivotal in the history of blockchain?
2002.
Lovely, well done. Who said that? Okay. Oh. Well done.
Too honest.
Okay, 2002. So this is the idea. This is the year that the idea of decentralized trust was integrated into a network file system, and so what we're building up here is a picture and a layer-by-layer basis by which blockchain came about today, because it's been an evolution and not necessarily just a single event. Okay, after 2002, what do we think is the next year? This one is a little bit hard, I am going to say. Like, it's
2007.
not quite, but you're close. No, before that.
2003.
We're getting closer. Yes, who said 2004? Lovely, well done. Give them a round of applause. So 2004 is the year that the idea of reusable proof of work came into being. And then I will say next is 2005. So someone said that. And that's when the idea of Bitgold that I explained earlier, that Nick Szabo created in 1998, the idea of the proof of work and timestamping was brought in. So that was when there was an evolution in Bitgold, and it was more fully formed, although it's never really been completed. And there was an issue with, they had an issue with double spending. So there's something called the double spending problem, where people were allowed to spend Bitgold twice and spend the coins twice. Okay, now the next year. Close.
2008.
Yes, lovely. So 2008 is when the Bitcoin white paper was released, which is literally like, it's huge. This is historic. Thank you. Because this is the initiation of Bitcoin and the modern day use of the blockchain in finance, in the context of finance. All right, what's next? Yes, yeah, but what year is next?
2012.
Oh, we're close.
11.
Close. Come
10.
down.
The pizza that I'm trying to remember, is that the one you're trying to refer to?
No, I'm talking about. I'm talking about a generalized history of blockchain. But you're close. Someone said this. Someone said yes. Thank you.
Deployment of Bitcoin.
Yes, thank you. You finished off the words for me. So 2009. This is why this picture is here. Is the launch of Bitcoin. So yes, it's amazing. So this is where Satoshi Nakamoto mined the very first Bitcoin and gave it to a guy called Hal Finney, who was the first person to receive it. Satoshi Nakamoto is widely described as the person who invented Bitcoin, and we don't know whether or not he's a human being or whether or not he's a group of people. He goes under the pseudonym of Satoshi Nakamoto, and yes, that is all I've got to say on the matter. Right, the next year that people think is pivotal in the history of blockchain. Close. Not close.
First harvest.
2010.
Sorry?
The mining rate changed.
Yeah, but I'm you know what? All these, that's correct, but I'm focusing on the
Oh, we just switched to Bitcoin there. I just realised,
Yeah.
rather than the whole blockchain.
yes, yeah. So I'll put you out of your misery. 2014. Oh, 2013. Okay, so I'll start with 2013. 2013 is when Ethereum was created, and it was the first blockchain to incorporate smart contracts. If we go to the next slide, 2014. This is what I've been waiting for. So this is when innovation in blockchain really took off. This was the launch of Blockchain 2.0, decentralized apps or dApps, and also smart contracts as well. So this is quite pivotal because there is a lot of innovation that I've looked at in the blockchain space that has been focused around smart contracts, especially in law tech, and also in other industries as well, like supply chain management, as well as financial services as well. So that's why I thought I would include that there. Okay, now the last one. Who can guess the last one that I'm going to mention? Because I know we've only got 15 minutes, that's why I thought I had to condense this as quickly as possible.
2021.
2022, not quite. Oh, you're close. Yes, 2017. Who said 2017? Give her a round of applause.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
So, 2017 is when the launch of ICOs, or when ICOs were really revolutionized. Every man and his dog was doing an ICO in 2017. And
That's true.
I found that there was a lot more blockchain-based projects that were coming into emergence. There was also something called block size wars, where people were having a debate over the size of the block for the sake of which affected security in the blockchain as well. So that's why I thought I would include it. Okay, so that is the end. Yes, we've got a wrap. In fact, would you mind going to before we go to this wrap, right? Can we go back to 2017? So, to liven up and get this party started, I thought I would include a rap. I know it's not something that you hear every time at a blockchain conference or a blockchain-based event, but I don't care. I'm an innovator. I'm going to do it anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through the rap, and I've got a mini poem as well to summarize as well what I think of the crypto and blockchain space, and I want you to shout it back at me. So now we can go to that slide. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. I say crypto blockchain, you say DLTs. I say crypto blockchain, you say NFTs. I say crypto blockchain, you say public keys. I say crypto blockchain, you say private keys. That's how it's going to work. All right? Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this. All right. So if you're wondering what you need to say, the words are on the screen. I'm just saying. So let's go. We'll take it from the top. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Crypto blockchain.
DLTs.
Crypto blockchain.
NFTs.
Crypto blockchain.
Public keys.
Crypto blockchain.
Private keys.
You have been an amazing audience. I want to say thank you. You've been absolutely sensational. I've been Christiana Imafidon. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. This is the best part ever. Okay. When did you start realising that you had a passion for blockchain?
That's a good question. We're talking about 7 years ago. I sat down, this is what happened. I went to the hackathon, and then when I came back from the hackathon, we actually won. We won Bitcoin, and I sat down, I gave a talk to my parents about what was happening with blockchain, and they were just like, are you serious? Can you go back to financial services, please? What are you talking about? So I remember that, yeah, so that's done.
Okay, the next question is a very, very general one. We love what you're doing. Would you like to do one day here whereby you just take over for the day and you have an open day and you get as many people as you want in this place to actually talk about blockchain, and would you like to organise it in the week of the 13th of June? Yes or no?
Yes.
Done. Deal's done. Oscar, yeah, we're doing Metaverse Week. We're doing Metaverse Week. That's it. And that's for everybody in this room. If you want to get involved in that, that'll be absolutely amazing. Now, before we disappear, I just want to get James up on the stage very briefly. Now, he's from the Ethereum Foundation, yeah, the official body and everything. So I'm just going to have a couple of words from him, and thank you very much, my dear.
Thanks, everyone. So I'm